respected elders, and my dear brothers and sisters. As we are all aware, today we are celebrating the 50th edition of Samarpan here in Swami's abode in Mumbai, Dharmakshetra. To many of us, this is not just a completion of 4 years and 2 months, but 1,498 days of our journey with the Lord, of a humble attempt to fill the void that His physical absence has left without, by trying to find Him within. Sharing our journey with Him, to Him, have been many speakers and many devotees, some of whom are here today, who unfailingly come every month to share the joy of His stories. Over the next few minutes, we would like to request some of them to please share their experiences and what Samarpan means to them and what they have experienced over the last few months, or for a few years. The first speaker I would like to invite is Brother Amrit. Amrit is an alumnus of the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning and Sri Sathya Sai Higher Secondary School. He studied there from 2008 to 2015 and is currently working at Edelweiss. Brother Amrit.
SAIRAM, and welcome each one of you on this very, very happy, auspicious, blissful evening. Everybody is so silent. Either you are soaked in bliss or it's too hot outside. Offering my humble and prayerful salutations to our beloved Bhagawan. It's wonderful to listen to these wonderful experiences of people, but we refuse to accept thanks from each one of you because the actual thanks belong to Swami and nobody else. Honestly, we never thought that when we started first in April 2015, we never thought that we'll come to this level of 50th edition. It is purely and purely His grace and grace alone that makes things happen. I don't think so any of us have any strength and capacity to have these kind of sessions being planned month after month. And I think when we started, I remember Anup Uncle spoke after the first session, I request, please continue. And we had not even thought about the next speaker the next month. It all fell in place by His grace. He chooses the speakers, He chooses the dates, He chooses the experiences. He speaks through the speakers and He enjoys through each one of us and puts everybody into nectar and bliss. That is, in one line, if I say, is Samarpan is what I have personally experienced. I'm sure most of us would have gone through a similar experience. And that's why it's time that we step back and offer our heartfelt gratitude to our beloved Bhagawan for blessing us with this rarest opportunity to listen to His Leelas and stories right in our home in Dharmakshetra. As one of you rightly said, it's a drop of grace. And most of us who are repeatedly coming month after month are drenched in that grace. So much so that we start experiencing Him everywhere, be it in office or be it at home or be it in family, be it in friend circle. We start feeling His presence everywhere. And that's been the experience of many people when we meet and talk one-to-one. One more thing, Swami clearly says that you need prapti to listen to His Leelas, to His stories. His means God's stories. We have said this repeated number of times, but it's important to again step back and realize our blessings that is showered upon us month after month. Not everybody is able to come down for various reasons to come here and listen live. Yes, it's a different thing. You watch an IPL match at home on the TV is very different than actually being right in the stadium to see the entire action in reality. So it's not everybody who gets an opportunity. So each one of us here is highly blessed that Swami has handpicked us to come here, make things happen for us, giving us the desire, the will, the energy making things happen and ensure that we are here to listen to his stories. So let us offer a gratitude and pat our back that we are highly blessed. It's not just few of us, but each one of us who are here. Isn't it? All of you agree or don't? So, taking ahead in terms of gratitude, there are a lot of other people who make things happen for this program. It's not just the Samarpan team. So, it's our privilege to announce or speak out about those great people, those divine people who have been, kind of helping us to ensure that this program happens without any problems. To start with, for the sound system, the one I'm using right now, there is a team of 2 people, Asif and Sumit Patil. I think we all should clap and congratulate them. Imagine without the sound system, neither this voice can be enhanced, nor can be recorded, nor can be uploaded on the YouTube, nor so many people can enjoy the experiences across the world. For some of you who may not know, we have seen the analytics of downloads of this YouTube videos of Samarpan which were uploaded, and roughly 55% of downloads have come from Japan. Can you believe this? So some of us who sit here have been enjoying, but there are multitude of people across the globe, from unknown places also in terms of Hawaii and other places where probably we don't even know there are Sai devotees, but they download and they enjoy this. My aunt is there in Australia and she says that 2 or 3 samitis come together and they have a spiritual retreat of 3 or 4 Samarpan talks in a large screen when they sit together like sessions. So all this because of wonderful sound system that we have. Only sound will not work, right? There has to be a video. So we have a wonderful video team led by Rajendra Gaddam, who is also our IT head and managing the IT center here. And ably supporting him is Pinang Doctor, who also is here right here with us, who captures the video and also helps in editing. There is Nihar Desai, who also does in terms of minute editing and ensuring that everything falls in place with the flowery introduction and also the end. Then there is Sai Prem Vatte, who also helps him with the video camera, and also Tushar Patil. And finally Saurav Sharma, I guess he's around. He's a technology backbone of this entire thing. Now all these guys are working round the clock after the Samarpan is over. So some of us, we enjoy and we go back home, but they are the guys, their work begins immediately. They edit and they bring it up and ensures that this message of Swami reaches to far and wide across the world. After the sound and video, once we've enjoyed this, there is a beautiful divine fragrance that flows in this place. From where does that come? The beautiful floral decorations that we see at the Swami's lotus feet. There are 3 aunties, very senior people who regularly do this for us. One is Gulabi auntie, Vasanti Shetty auntie, and Nagmani auntie. We should clap for all 3 of them. Every program they do it, we don't have to speak to them, they just do it with absolute devotion to Swami and makes this beautiful altar that we see today. There is one team who does the cleaning of this entire place before we all come and sit. Cleanliness is next to godliness, so they make the entire place spick and span for us so that we all can come comfortably, sit here and enjoy Swami's grace. Vijay Lakshmi Shetty auntie and her entire team, they are not willing to give the names, but they said just put as team. But there are a lot of people with her, and across samitis, they come every month, they clean and they keep the place ready for us. Then we have, after doing all this wonderful food for soul and the mind, the food for stomach is also important. So we have 2 people, Sudhakar Shetty of our canteen and Bhosle. Bhosle is one who regularly provides us with wonderful tea and snacks whenever required. And they are the people who are silently working behind the clock to help everything make comfortable. So these two people also take care of our food for the stomach. There are two more people who are very silent, whom probably we don't even know them. Probably would have seen them once in a while because we don't regularly see them. But they are the two people, Shelar and Shivaji. These are two S's, Shelar and Shivaji. They are the watchmen who manage the entire thing outside the trust office and above. They are the people who provide us at 11th hour when we need the keys for the rooms that we have, we keep it for the guest speakers. They are the people at midnight, you come at 12 o'clock, you come at early morning, they are there always to support us whenever we need. So these are two more people who are silently working. And finally, there are three most important people who refuse to be around. I'm sure they are outside the hall because they are the people whom we completely rely on for all the things that we just shared. They are none other than our own Bhatt uncle, our Bhaskar Shetty uncle, and Santanam uncle. Whenever we need anything, anytime, we just call them and they do it. So when we see such smooth functioning of this program month after month for 50 months, these are the people who work silently behind the scenes and make things happen for all of us. So our heartfelt gratitude to all of these people, and we pray that Swami blesses all of them repeatedly and throughout for everything that they do in their lives, and they grow and shine as always. Now, taking a leaf of what Vishwanath uncle said, that this has to be brought out in a document, this has to be brought out, all the Samarpan talks has to be as a repository we need to have. Imagine, all of us are here today, most of us probably would have seen Swami. How many have seen Swami? Wow. When Vivekananda asked Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, have you seen God? He was the only person who said, yes, I've seen God. So many of them have seen God. How lucky are we, isn't it? But imagine 15, 20 years later from now on, when I ask the same question, how many have seen God? Probably there will be lesser number of hands. Maybe 50 years hence, even more lesser number of hands. Definitely after 100 years, probably there are no hands. So what do? We are part of that great legacy of an avatar of the Kali age, and it's our responsibility to leave back that wonderful legacy for future generations to come. Isn't it? And that's why we contemplated about 6-8 months back that something needs to be done. See, videos are there, you can download on a YouTube, you can see it whenever you want. You never know when the technology develops 50 years later, probably YouTube may be extinct. What do we do then? These video talks may be lost. Maybe it will be there recorded somewhere, the way video cassettes are today. So we thought to ensure that this continues for posterity, we need to record these beautiful experiences. And that's why, with that longer term vision that probably Swami only blessed us with, that we should do this as part of the seva, is we thought we'll come out with a book. I know there could be few thoughts in the minds of few people that, reading habit is going down, how many people read, or maybe let's have an e-book. All agreed, no questions. But what we are facing is also, repeatedly we also get requests that get the speaker to speak in Hindi, because some of us are not able to understand. Fair enough. There are lots and lots of people in interior parts of India today who may or may not have access to YouTube, who may or may not understand English. So what do? We bring out this book, get it translated in different regional languages, and then start percolating down to different interior parts of India. That's another leaf of this vision that we thought that we should think about on the long-term horizon. And 50th edition is a very beautiful occasion to step back and just see where we are today. How much of grace has been, we are drenched in His grace all the time. And time has come for all of us to share that grace for the future generations to come. And hence, we are planning, in fact, let me give more details about where we are in this execution of this vision. There are roughly 100 plus people behind this entire project of converting these talks into book since last 5 months or so, I think since first or second week of January. And predominantly, there are quite a few people who have volunteered on their own from the Anandpur campus. So, in fact, when we thought about this project, we also decided that let's think about outsourcing it to a transcriber outside who are professionals, who will do very nicely. But important point was the kind of feeling, the kind of devotion, the kind of context that we have, probably an external transcriber may not have. And this is a book, not just a plain transcription of somebody said something somewhere and it's given. This book requires that transportation of love, devotion and feeling to the entire humanity. And that we can come only from His own devotees and none other than nobody else. And that's why we took the call that we'll be slow and steady, but we will do on our own. Among the devotees, among students, be it Vrindavan, be it Prashant Nilayam, be it Anandpur, everybody. And when we started this, it happened that we thought 4 or 5 talks, let's do within the Samarpan team and experiment how much time it takes. But within 10 days, I think Sister Yogini is here. I would definitely like to mention her name because she said this is a great opportunity, we should do it. And she rallied some 15-20 people and then eventually became 80 people behind her to take this mission into a different level. And so today we are very close to actually launching volume 1. Volume 1 will have the first 18 talks, volume 2 will have the second 18 talks, the volume 3 will have another 18 and then subsequently till Bhagawan's grace flows on us, we'll continue. Today what we can do is, it's close to launch but not yet ready for launch. We plan to launch the cover page of the book. Maybe you can put up on the screen. Yeah. So we plan to launch the cover page of the book and we want to name this book as Sri Satya Sai Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is story of the God. Story of God and the Leelas of the Lord. Today when we listen to Bhagavatam and listen to those Krishna's melodious stories, most of us are soaked in His love and grace. Imagine 50, 100 years later when they read this kind of a book, they would know Swami through these books, through these experiences. And these experiences have come from none other than people who have directly, having one-to-one with Swami. So that's why we thought of naming this book as Sri Satya Sai Bhagavatam. And it will be compilation of this talk. To have an official launch of this cover page, may I request Siva Sankara Sai sir, our warden, our director of the Prashant Nilayam campus and also our guest speaker. I'll introduce him after this, but let's first invite him. Then K.K. Mistry sir, if possible. This is a very special occasion and that's why I didn't want to miss you. We are very glad and happy that despite difficulties, you still made up and you are with us. Anup uncle? And from the ladies' side, Mrudula auntie to come forward.
Beautiful. Fantastic. Congratulations. Sorry.
So, continuing this wonderful legacy and this rare privilege, time has come for us to listen in to our today's guest speaker, Dr. Siva Sankara Sai. Born in a Sai family, Dr. Siva Sankara Sai's family first came to Bhagawan in 1957. Sir began his journey as Bal Vikas student in 1972 and then went on to join Swami's college for his pre-university course, that is 11th and 12th standards, in 1976. He subsequently completed his B.Sc, M.Sc, and awarded Ph.D. in fiber optic sensors and with a gold medal from Swami's hands in 1989. Post his education, Swami appointed him as physics lecturer in 1990 and also handpicked him as warden of senior boys hostel in 1994, which he continued till 2011. That is as good as 18 years, 18 batches under his leadership and care. He was one of the most loved and admired wardens across batches of Swami's students. Besides being the warden, Siva Sankara Sai sir held several senior positions in Swami's University, namely Head of Department of Physics, followed by Dean of Sciences in 2014, and currently Director of Prashant Nilayam campus since 2018. He also holds an additional charge as convener of the new research center in Prashant Nilayam, which is Central Research Instruments Facility. It's a big bang, so maybe when any of you visit Prashant Nilayam next time, you can see it from outside, the huge buildings in the campus which has come up, which are big research centers. And if Swami willing, you can try and visit it as well. He has more than 60 research publications to his name, specifically in areas of research include biophotonics, nuclear medicines, and optical networking. Number of projects which he handled were externally funded by none other than DRDO, D.Sc, that is Department of Science and Technology, and Department of Atomic Energy, and University Grants Commission as well. Besides this, while this is the professional side of Sir has also acted in lead roles in many dramas, and the most cherished among them was the Bhaja Govindam drama in the year 1988 in Shanmukanand Hall in Mumbai, when Swami had handpicked few people and brought them right here, and they performed there. It's one of the most cherished. In fact, his dramatic skills started when he was in a Bal Vikas student, right in 1972-73, when he acted in the Bal Vikas drama called Sati Sakubai, and also acted in a Telugu drama written by Swami himself, titled Radha Krishna in 1985, which was Swami's 65th birthday year in Shanti Vedika in Hillview Stadium. Well, these are the points on his professional side and other aspects. I would like to add some thoughts of my own. Sir is an extraordinarily multifaceted personality. He has been the Vedam Guru for many people who are super seniors even to me. He sang bhajan today. Some of you would have got a chance to experience it. He's a warden, gold medalist. He is also one of the most favorite wardens of the hostel, the senior boys hostel among all batches. Why I say most favorite, most admired, most loved among so many is I remember when I joined my 11th standard, I was extremely homesick the very first few days, and my parents were leaving and then going away. And the last meeting between my parents and him, I was still sitting there in his office. And obviously I was homesick, so I was a little down, and he looked at me and he said, don't worry, when you have any problem, when you feel that you're missing your parents, come to me, I'll make you smile. This is a very simple statement, but to be honest, I will not tell anything, it's not over exaggeration, but that statement gave me complete comfort. And I lived in that campus for 7 years. This is a small personal experience I have with Sir. I'm sure there are multiple students who have gone through those small experiences. And warden of the hostel is none other than like a parent. And he has been taking care of students. Now he is moved as a director, but still people look up to him. We still call him the warden as always. He is our warden. He remains as a warden forever and like a parent. And just to add one more line, in fact, warden, the first ever warden of Swami's any hostel was Swami himself in Vrindavan. There is, if you go to Vrindavan, there is also Swami's signature as warden of his own hostel. So warden is that precious position which Swami himself held in the past. And Swami chose none other than our Siva Sankara Sai sir to actually take up that position because he knew that he is a loving, caring and wonderful person. And lastly, if I will not over exaggerate to tell this, that he is an incarnation of goodness. We always looked up to him. If you want to be good, be like him. He led by an example, which is probably difficult to find in today's world, a teacher like him, a warden like him. With all these extraordinary achievements in life, he remains an humble, loving and caring person as always. Absolutely no change what he was past and even today. So without much ado, may I request our own warden, our beloved warden, Siva Sankara Sai sir, to come and take us through those wonderful years when he enjoyed the personal experience of one-to-one with Swami. SAIRAM.
Om Ganeshaya Namaha, Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Harihi Om. Rutam tapas satyam tapas shrutam tapas shantam tapo damastapashyamastapo danantapo yagnam tapo bhurbhuvasvar brahmaitadupa asyaitatapa yatha vrikshasya sampushpitasya durat gandho va atyevam punyasya karmano durat gandho vati Anoraniyan mahato mahiyan atma guhayan nihitosya janto. Offering my humble pranams at Bhagawan's divine Lotus feet. Esteemed elders, I see so many of them, my teachers and all the elders whom I know. Brothers and sisters of Sai family. I became panicky when the introduction was given. Even before that also I was very, very panic-stricken because when I heard our brothers and then aunties telling about the Samarpan, how it has impacted them, I really became panicky. Reason is, will I be able to do that? The monkey mind of mine kept on thinking that way. Immediately the heart spoke. He says, it is not I who's going to speak or any of the Samarpan speakers. It is He. He is the one who is making them speak, who is inspiring them, who is making them speak what they speak. So I once again pray to Bhagawan to give that inspiration, to relive those beautiful moments which He has bestowed on us, what we have seen, what we have experienced, and then share that love and joy with all of you. I'm extremely happy to be here and then listening to the Samarpan story and how the team is incessantly working to see that Swami's message, Swami's leelas are sort of shared amongst the devotees. As I think of that, I'm reminded about what Bhagawan has mentioned about this sort of celebration. This is the 50th edition, the Golden Jubilee edition of Samarpan. I'm reminded about the 60th birthday celebrations, or what we call in Andhra, Shashti Purti. Shashti Abde Purti, Shashti Purti, the 60 years of existence of a person. If it is there, then they celebrate. The sons celebrate the father's 60th birthday. And I was reminded of that and what Bhagawan has mentioned, which is so relevant for today's context. Swami, I prayed to Swami to sort of give his blessings to my father on his 60th birthday. Bhagavan was so gracious. He said, I'll give you all into you. The moment he mentioned that, obviously, all of us were excited. All my brothers and sisters, everybody with their families came. And then on the D-Day, Bhagavan called all of us, the full family, my sisters, brother-in-laws, sister-in-laws, all of them came. And then Swami called us all inside, very graciously. And as he came inside the interview room, he said, normally he created vibhuti and gave it to father and then everyone there, and said, what do you do on Shashti Purti day? He asked, and then we all said, Swami, being divine presence, Swami's presence is the greatest gift which we can have, greatest puja which we can ever do on a Shashti Purti day, because we want your blessings on this sacred day. I ventured to say that. He said, no, you need to respect the tradition. You need to follow the tradition of ancient culture. And then followed a beautiful, small mini discourse to all of us, an education into our spiritual lore. He said, he was turning to my father and said that, he said, you have lived 60 years, seen ups and downs of life, gone to the heights of achievements and depths of despondency. You know what you are supposed to do on this day? He said, our ancients, the forefathers have put all these things just to remind us every now and then in our lives to see where we are heading. He says, 60th birthday, you have to realign, recalibrate yourself how far away you are from God. What a beautiful message. What a beautiful message. How far away we are from God. How much nearer we have moved. This should be the day when we introspect and then calibrate, as Swami says, our spiritual compass. How closely it has gone to the northern side, to the Godward side. So I thought this would be a beautiful message for us on a 50th birthday, 50th anniversary edition of the Samarpan. In fact, these years seems to be a saga of these Golden Jubilee celebrations. We have the Golden Jubilee celebrations of Bal Vikas. This is the 50th year of Bal Vikas movement. And I'm told that last year you celebrated 50th year of Dharmakshetra. So many of 50th, these Golden Jubilee celebrations are coming on our way. So let us remind ourselves of Bhagawan has said. Each of these occasions, we had to find out how closely we have moved to the Swami. When the speaker speaks his experiences, that should spur us to turn towards him. I endeavor to bring what little experiences which I had with Bhagawan to you all. I pray to Bhagawan for his blessings. Now, coming back to the topic, my experiences with Bhagawan. I would start with the Bal Vikas, because it's also the Golden Jubilee year of the Bal Vikas. I really salute all the Bal Vikas teachers who are present here and all over the world. Because of my Bal Vikas teacher, I am what I am today. I can very, very confidently mention. Let's all give them a good. Because naughty as we are, children are, and then very unsteady, don't concentrate on anything. But then the teacher very, very lovingly and then painstakingly takes and makes sure that we at least learn ABC of God through the small mantrams, the small stories which they very, very patiently impart to the Bal Vikas children. So at this juncture, I pay my obeisance to all the Bal Vikas teachers who painstakingly mold the Sai students, future Sai students, current Sai students, and then would be Sai students. My Bal Vikas teacher, I am from basically Guntur, a place near Vijayawada, who is now the Rajdhani of Andhra Pradesh. And Mrs. Seshagiri Amma, she was a very, very devout Bal Vikas teacher, and then she used to love us so much. We would love to go to Bal Vikas class, and then, he has really molded as well. Just cutting short of the details, she sort of trained us and then made sure that we start loving God. And then my interaction with Bhagawan, the first interaction with Bhagawan, as I said, came through the Bal Vikas drama, which brother mentioned, Sati Sakubai. My Bal Vikas teacher has trained us in the Bal Vikas dramas, and then Swami knew her personally, and then she said the children should get a chance and then directly interact with Bhagawan, made us train in this particular drama, gave different roles, and I got the role of the mother-in-law of Sati Sakubai, because as a kid, I can sort of shave my head easily. So that was the reason she told me that you be the mother-in-law of Sakubai. In fact, later on, it has a lot of potential because Swami used to call me Atta, or the mother-in-law, for the students as a warden of the hostel. I'll come back to that later. But then, so we went there. It was a Navaratri festival in 1972. We were there, and then with everything we went, with all preparations. That time the Purnachandra, maybe I should give you that. This is the Purnachandra hall, which you know, but of course I don't have the old photographs. Swami was there on the stage. He used to give discourses there, and then we were behind the Purnachandra hall in the green room, and then we were getting ready. Swami, next one also. It's another view of the Purnachandra hall. It's a beautiful hall. It was not as it is right now, but it was very primitive in those days with not so much of decorations. So actually Swami did not give immediately the permission. My Bal Vikas student told us, said, pray very, very sincerely, because if children pray, Bhagawan will melt. If we elders pray, Bhagavan will not melt. So he made us chant all the slokas every day, morning and evening. And that sort of small things instilled in us that love for God. Finally, our prayers fructified, and Swami gave us the permission. So we were all behind the thing. Swami gave the discourse, Navaratri discourse, and then he came behind. And then children were there, and it turned out that, they were tying that sari for me, that the typical Maharashtrians type of widow. And then I was right at the behind. The first question Swami asked my teacher was, where is Sakubai's mother-in-law? The Sakubai was there and all of them were there, the main characters, and then I was the mother-in-law. And then I was right at the back. He said, where is Sakubai's mother-in-law? Because Swami likes mother-in-laws. And then why? Because mother-in-laws are supposed to take care of the daughter-in-law, make sure the daughter-in-law follows all the rules, and then, though not, of course, the modern daughter-in-laws, I suppose. But then Swami first called for mother-in-law of the Sakubai, and I was pushed from behind and right in front of Swami. I was so happy. I saw Swami, though we were seeing as kids, but then this Swami asked for me, so I was elated. So I stood and then I said, Swami, I said, Vida, is this the fellow? This fellow is the mother-in-law. As though he knew me for eternity. And that gave immense joy to me and to my parents, that Swami has recognized and our connection with Bhagawan has been established. That was my first interaction with Bhagawan through the Bal Vikas drama. Then I went on to complete my schooling at Guntur. After my 10th class, my father, even though I was a Bal Vikas student, I didn't know much about the Vrindavan College then. It was 1976, I finished my 10th class. My father also had not applied for Vrindavan College. And then the results came inordinately late actually. And then when they came, I got distinction. I was expecting only first class, but then I got distinction. I was very happy. Then my father said, no, why not we try Swami's college in Vrindavan? He asked me, will you go? I said, of course, Swami's college. I didn't know anything about it, but I said, yes, of course. Swami's school or college would be very happy. Then my father made an inquiry and found that all the admissions were over. The last date for giving the applications, submission, and even the interviews were almost over. Then he said, no, unless Swami's blessings are there, you will not get a seat. Let's go to Puttaparthi. So we came to Puttaparthi immediately after receiving my grade cards, and then we somehow managed to reach Puttaparthi. By the time we reached, it was 4:30. Swami just finished the darshan. And then the people who were there, some of the Guntur Samiti people were there, they said, next day the college was reopening. So my father said, no, you should go. But then we did not get Swami's blessings or even darshan. So he said, no, let's go and sit and pray. So we sat in the sands of Puttaparthi. Remember, this is the old Puttaparthi, now the cycle on the hall. You know, that sands there, and this side the gents side, and that side is the ladies' side. And then the Swami's darshan was over when by the time we reached at 4:30, and all the people got up to go for the tea. And then we could immediately, my father and myself, we grabbed the first line. He said, sit here, just keep praying to Swami. And then what we found, after 1 hour of time, bhajan had not started. Swami finished the interview, again started for the second round of darshan. It had not happened earlier for a few months. Once in a while Swami comes there, but then it doesn't come very regularly for that second darshan. And then he came and I was overjoyed. I had the marks card with me, the original marks card. I did not even have chance to even take a duplicate Xerox of that, photocopy of that. I had the original marks card. My father simply said, when Swami comes, get up and show your marks card and say that, Swami, give me a seat. That's all he told me. And then when Swami came near, because we were in the first line, he came graciously in front of me. And then I was very happy and simply got up and said, Swami, I folded the marks card like this. And then, Swami, please give me a seat in your college. Swami said, Naku kadappa, principal ki cheppu. Don't tell me, it is the job of the principal. Go and tell the principal. That time that was called principal, now it's called director of the campus. So he said, and then he thought it was a letter, and then took that, my original marks card. And then he went off. I was overjoyed. Swami had sort of talked to me and said, go to the principal. So when Swami had passed, moved by, and then I was standing there. My father asked, very nice what he said, and he repeated everything. He said, okay, let's now go to the principal. Then he said, where is your marks card? I said, no, Swami had taken it. He said, foolish fellow, go. That's original. We don't even have a photocopy of that. And that's it. He said, by then Swami had moved to almost near to that main pillar there, and entering into the veranda. He said, if you miss this chance again, you are not going to get run. He was a Sevadal member. He knows what it means, like running behind Swami. He said, but you don't have a choice. Just run and tell Swami, please give my marks card back. That was a way in which I done. And then dutifully, I followed that. I just ran and Sevadals were behind me. And then we ran, seen the commotion, Swami turned. Said, what? I said, Swami, marks card. He said, then why did you give it to me? Patiently, he said, this one, and then took out because it was a little longish one. And then he took it out. He said, go, no, it's not for me, it's for the principal. And then, so that ended our journey to Puttaparthi. Then we were very happy that I got back my marks card. Otherwise, I wouldn't have joined. And then we boarded the train and then went to night 12 o'clock from Pinnukonda, because we had to reach next day, it was opening. And then finally reached there. We did not have, I didn't apply, nothing, no information about the college, hostel, nothing at all. So when we reached there, there were some devotees, children who were there from the Guntur Samiti, they were also there. They had applied and some of them got in, some of them did not get in, and some of them did not get into the hostel, they just got the seat. That time they were day scholars also. So when we interacted with them, he said, no, how can you do that? You have not even put the application form. And my father said, no, Swami told him to meet the principal. So we will go to the principal. That was our Brahmastram. So we took that one and then tried to go there. And then we found that, the last of the interviews got over, and then the principal, and then at that time, Mr. Narendra, Mr. Sudarshanam, and then Mr. Sudarshan and Mr. Professor Lakshmi Narasimhan were the wardens of that one, and Dr. Narendra was the principal of the campus. So they were having some meeting. Somebody said, no, just wait, when they come out, try your luck. So in the middle of the meeting, Mr. Sudarshan, Sudarshan, who was also the translator of Bhagawan, as some of you may know. So when he came out, my father made the plea. Said, sir, like this, Swami told, and then can you please give? I was shorter than what I am right now. And then he said, please, sir, can you please give? Again, that is Swami's blessings on me, I would say. And then it probably some Purvajanma, some puja phalam of my parents. He saw me and told the office clerk to give an application form. I couldn't believe it. Everything was over. I was asked to fill up the application form on the spot. I filled it up, gave. He said, we'll call you for an interview after 1 hour. And then they called me for the interview. And then rest is history. So I came to Bhagawan because, as somebody put it, every one of us, it is not only the students of Bhagawan's institutions, all of us are handpicked by him. Handpicked and handpicked by him. But for that, we would not be here. All of you must have heard our Shidi Baba telling this one, like a sparrow, the string which is attached to the leg of the sparrow, he will pull us at the right time. The fact that we are all here, it is because of his pull. So let's all enjoy that blessings of being Sai devotee, being Sai student. In fact, at another time, I remember one of the devotees, when he was asked to speak, he said, Swami, we are all so unhappy that you spend lion's share of your time with the students. And then we devotees wait there, keep on waiting there, you only just talk to the students. Swami, what about us? He wrote a nice, beautiful letter to Swami. Then he gave it to Swami. That day night, I believe, next day Swami gave him a chance to speak. And then he said this. He said, that day night he got a dream, and then said, Swami gave him that insight. He said, this universe is a university. This universe itself is a university. It's not the university. That's why instead of higher learning, it's a deemed university, and for which Swami is the chancellor, the founder chancellor. Swami said, this universe is a university, and all of us are his students. All of us, invariably. There's only one teacher in the university, that is God, and that is our beloved Swami. He takes care of, conducts the classes, he takes the examinations, the CAEs, which our boys are familiar, continuous internal evaluation. You have midterm tests, you have end-sem tests, you have the practical test, you have Viva OC, and so many things. All that he conducts. For each of us, there is no fixed timetable, common timetable for all of us. He does it in his own when we are ready, when he thinks we are ready. So, in that sense, all of us are students. It is no difference between the devotee, big or small, boy or girl, or any such this thing. All of us are students of Swami. So, all the things which are told about the students are all applicable to all of us. After I joined from Vrindavan, as I mentioned, the Bal Vikas movement, actually Bal Vikas has really brought me closer to Swami. And then the Vrindavan College made me understand the importance of Bhagawan. I would like to just narrate one or two incidents about my Vrindavan student life. You must have heard, definitely many speakers would have spoken about the Vrindavan and the Vrindavan College. But I would like to just mention one or two things which shaped me. We used to wait for an opportunity to grab Swami's attention. All boys do that. Every devotee does it. And then we were waiting, what are the opportunities which are available as a student? I just joined the first PUC. And then I found Swami gives a lot of importance to bhajans. So you should be a singer, you should be an instrumentalist, and then, or you should be a good speaker, good dancer, or good Vedam chanter. So we, assessed, where do I fit into these things? Then I said, no, we have to try all our, available opportunities. And I said, okay, now let me start with Vedam. As a student of Bal Vikas, I knew bhajans, but then, our voices are not so sweet. So I said, no, let me start with the Vedam. I started learning Vedam. And then my guru was Narahari, some of the students, Narahari sir, Dr. Narahari of Vrindavan campus, a chemistry professor. And then we were learning. Within 2-3 months of learning, and of course, I should mention my guru also, Sanskrit guru, Chandrasekhar Maduri. And he was one who painstakingly again taught us the Vedam. And then because of him, and taught us the Sanskrit, understand the meanings to a certain extent. So we were learning, and within 3 months, Swami gave a chance for all the new students to chant Vedam in front of him before his speech. So our teacher called all of us and said, okay, now chant. You have to chant in front of Swami, and then chant. And then, of course, I fumbled. I did not learn properly. And then he rejected me. I was crestfallen. And I was, that day, evening bhajans, I was crying like anything. I said, Swami, such a nice chance. First time as a student of the PUC, and then I was denied of this chance. I said, no, this cannot happen. And then Swami gave a discourse in the Trai Vrindavan, what they used to call, that time it was not Trai Vrindavan, it's the old Vrindavan. Vrindavan sessions used to be there in the old bungalow. Some of you may recall that. And then Swami said, if you want to learn anything, you have to put in word. Even a shopkeeper will not give you a hanky unless you throw 10 rupees on his face. He literally in Telugu he said that. He said, so if you want to learn anything, you have to put in effort. Otherwise, nothing will happen. So boys, put in effort, then only expect results. If you don't put in, God helps those who help themselves in learning things. So that day, with tears in my eyes, I took resolve. Swami was speaking there in that old bungalow. I was standing outside and then listening to that. I said, Swami, I will resolve to learn Vedam. And then it was his blessings that I could sort of learn that Namakchamka, and then and Swami had taken interest, and then we had the good fortune to learn this Rudrachmaka Rudram Namakam and Chamakam from no less person than Cherukumali Kamadani Garu. So that's a different story. I will not go into that. I have spoken earlier. So it is that result. Swami expects us to put in our effort. That effort, those are the small things as student we have learned. And then Swami goaded us, showed us the path, and then that bloomed into a nice experience. Then on another day, very small, again very small, Swami has that beautiful way of simplifying the most abstract, esoteric truths into simplest of the truths and simplest of the ways which the students can understand, the devotees can understand, everyone can understand. Swami had given us some work, we finished, and then Swami was very happy. He wanted to show, like a mother, when they are happy, what they'll sort of show extra love for the students, for the children. So he said, boys, what do you want? By then we did not have photographs with Swami. So we said, Swami, photo Swami. So I said, come. So 50 of us were there, and then Swami said, yeah, come. We had a good photograph, but then we were not satisfied. He said, Swami, individual photographs. Individual photographs. So, time tiskuntundi. It will take time. Swami, please Swami. That please Swami, melts his heart. Then he said, okay, come. So each of us, we were standing in line, and then the next photograph. And the next one. Or maybe the other one. Next one. Next one. Yeah, this is one. So Swami was standing near the tree, and then we were going, and then standing, and then the photographer would click, and then the boy goes out, and another boy comes in. So it was going on. 50 of us were there, and then after 25 or 30 boys were over, Swami said, stop. Then he called, he said, come near. He said, boys, do you understand? This is Brahma Satyam Jaganmitya Jivo Brahmaiva Na Paraha. It's the Brahma Sutra, one of the Brahma Sutra, the important, most important. Brahma Satyam Jaganmitya Jivo Brahmaiva Na Paraha. So you are nothing but the God, and Jagat is a mithya. It's a illusory, transitory. He said, can you believe that this is the greatest truth? Swami said, see, I am here. I am the Brahman. The Jagat, you all belong to Jagat. You come, give a pose, and then go out. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Na Paraha. You and I are one. What a simple way which we can understand as students. Said the Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. At least that part was very, very clear to me after that small incident. I finished my PG and then even during the PG, after finishing my B.Sc in Bangalore University, and then by then the university had come, Swami asked me to come to the university at Puttaparthi, so I came there and then joined there. Being the first batch of students again, umpteen number of chances he bestowed. I still hope that I don't think I deserve that chances which he has blessed on us, but then let me recall few incidents from that. The importance of darshan. In Swami's education system, Swami says a student and the educational institutions not only cater to the intellect, the training of the mind, but all aspects of personality. That is the uniqueness of Satsai educational system, as you all know, in the Bal Vikas or Prasadal and then Sevadal or everything. Every time Swami says, we need to be trained in all aspects of our life. He said eating, sleeping, walking, talking, everything is a training after all. In the universities or in the schools, they train the mind. They train the mind so that you can make your calculations very, very fast. You can clear the IIT JAM or JEE or whatever, or NEET. All that is a training of the mind. Swami says, Bahugrandha Parichaya, that is conversant with the number of books. If you are one, then you become a professor. Nothing more is needed. But the Swami said that is only a bookish knowledge. But there are so many more different types of knowledge which one should acquire as their student. And that is such an educational system, as some of us know. So we cater to every aspect of personality. And then spiritual aspect, Swami says, is the most important part of it. In fact, Swami says the intellectual attainments or any other attainments in life are nothing if you do not have the spiritual basis, because they all will not stand, because spiritual basis is the foundation. And then that's why Swami has integrated the Suprabhatam, the bhajans, the morning prayer, college prayers, everything into the curriculum of our university. So we have in the evenings, we go for bhajans after college is over. Twice a week, Swami made a compulsory games. On those days, we used to go for games, and then the rest of us used to go for bhajans, and then it takes on rotation. So everyone goes 4 days for bhajans, and then 2 days for the games. So one such evening, that was a formative year of the university. So, things were not as structured as it is now. So we had, our professor has announced suddenly, he said, tomorrow I'm going to conduct an exam. And then, we students as we were, so we did not prepare well. And then he just announced, he said, tomorrow morning I'm going to conduct. He announced in the evening. So some of us felt, they said, okay, we will study. We have to get maximum time for our studies. We will go for darshan, and after darshan, bhajans used to be at 6 o'clock. So there was clear 1.5 hours. And then we would come back and then study for the exam. That's what we all thought. I was in my M.Sc physics that time. So after darshan, we quietly came back. We did not tell the warden. And we quietly came back and then started reading in the hostel. After finishing the interview, Swami again came round, and Swami used to go around. And then he would interact with the students. Again, number of Samarpan speakers would have told you so many of interactions. And then, that's the best time. And that day, Swami came once again and went around everywhere. Being the first batch of PG students, naturally Swami knew us all by name, almost. And then he went around everywhere and found that we were not there. Went to the warden, called him and said, we don't know what happened. After bhajans, we were happily sitting there and reading. He came, called for us, gave a mouthful to all of us. He said, pack your bag and baggage and get out of the hostel. This is what Bhagawan has mentioned to me. He said, if they do not know the value of the bhajans, if they do not know the value of the spiritual content, spiritual training which is being imparted, they don't deserve to be as Swami's college students. That is the importance of Swami. Of course, we had to, literally turn upside down to again win back Swami's attention. Fortunately, he didn't throw us out, and we still were the students. But that instant taught me the importance of bhajans, because that is the one which we connect to God. Swami says, you would have heard that bhajan workshop time, how we can connect to Bhagawan. We don't have to do anything extra. Whatever we are doing, sanctify. That's what Swami always tells us. He said he does not expect any of us to do hours and hours of meditation. He said, whatever are your duties, do them and then offer them to me. That's all it is. That is the simplest thing which we can ever do. And that's how he simplified. And given the importance of bhajans and all spiritual activities. So all of us should remember, whenever we get a chance, said getting into satsang is again, as I say, as you know, it is Shankaracharya has mentioned, Manushyatvam Mumukshatvam Mahapurusha Samsarkam. It is not given to us very easily. It is the grace of the Lord alone. We have the desire to listen to Swami. We have the desire to go near to Swami. Even that is His blessings. Let us cherish that and increase that yearning for Swami. I finished my Ph.D. and then pointed, and then as a warden, again, it is his blessings. I had a number of opportunities to see how Swami molds the students and how Swami beautifully teaches them the Vedantic truths, of the highest of the truths, in the most simplest of the manners. Let me just recall one or two. You know, the boys, during the holidays, they go home, and then the winter holidays, boys had gone home, and Swami, like a mother, used to be worried when the students go home. He said, why? Because one thing is, they're not with Swami. He loved the students so much. So the pangs of separation, apparent pangs of separation for the God, and also the greater worry for Swami was what all they will do in the holidays time. What all they will do in the holidays time. He openly used to tell us. But then, you know, students as they are, they should go and then be with their parents during the holidays time. So we boys had come back from the vacation. Swami used to go around and ask them, what have you done? And then what are the things, any important things happened and all that. So very intimately. He used to come down to their level so that he can interact and then share and shower his love on them. So one student, a new student, was very devoted. And then he was very, very excited when he was going home, because he said, no, what all I have learned about Swami, I will share with my friends. That's what he thought. So when he went home, all his relatives came, and his relatives were not believers of Swami. And then, so this boy, you know, with so much of enthusiasm, he was telling, this Swami is this, and Swami has done this to me and all that. Those people simply put him down. And then this boy got a shock. He said, however much he was trying to convince about Swami's divinity and Swami's, you know, the love which he received, they were not convinced. He said, you are a fool to have gone to Puttaparthi, and then you are transformed, and then you are useless. And this made him very, very sad. When he came back, he told this to Swami. Beautiful. Very, very innocently. Swami asked, what did you do in the house? Then he could not, he started crying. He said, Swami, all my relatives, his nephews, really, irritated him. He said, Swami, like this, they never believed whatever I said. Swami, seeing that sincerity in that boy, in the veranda, just gave a beautiful tips, which I thought it would be of some interest to all of us. He says, how should we tell about Bhagawan? And then, especially when they're atheists, when they're non-believers, I think it will be of interest to us, isn't it? So, he said, don't worry, you do not have to spread my glory. Such a simple way, he said, you don't have to spread my glory. I know how to spread. If your own faith is shaky, how can you pass on that to somebody else? How can you instill faith in others? And then Swami went on to explain. He said, in our culture, there is a apatrita dana. Means, even for you to receive something from elders, you should have deservedness. Patrita Vidya dadati vinayam vinayat yati patritam. Patritva dhanamapnoti dana dharmam tatasukam. Swami tells. Vidya danati vinayam. Vidya confers humility. Vinayat yati patritam. From vinaya you get patrita, deservedness. Deservedness for what? Patritva dhanamapnoti, for earning money and for being happy in this world, in the world outside, in the other world. So he says deservedness is very important. When somebody comes and talks to you and then tries to find out about the institute or about Swami, yes, you can tell them. But remember, he should have the deservedness. You should be able to assess whether he is genuinely interested in knowing about Swami or not. Otherwise, he said, you are only, and Swami gave us such a beautiful example. Even now it's, I think of it, it's a very wonderful example. He says, it is like suspecting whether a pilot is there or not in a flying plane. A person is on the ground and he sees a plane flying and suspect whether plane, of course, that time no automatic, we still have not, it's only Google cars, but Google planes have not yet come, I suppose. But so suspecting whether pilot is there or not in a plane is foolishness. And Swami says, if you have to really know whether a pilot is there or not, two things can happen. Either you have to go to that level to find out and see through the window whether the pilot is there or not, or otherwise know when the plane lands. See how beautifully Swami said. So, the God who is a pilot of our life, when he comes down, utilize him. Or raise yourself to that higher level to know that you can see the pilot because you are also at that level. Beautiful way in which he says, so if somebody asks about Swami or about this one, he was telling the students, he said, you don't have to be over enthusiastic. Let your actions speak. Let your character speak. Let your behavior speak. Let your manners speak. Swami says, Swami defined boy. A boy is one who has a good behavior. A man is one who has good manners. That is the definition of Swami for a boy and a man. So, Swami says, when you are in doubt, that boy was still having that, he was happy that he received this instruction. He still have Swami. How do I judge? Because I am a small fellow. And the person who is asking may be a very big shot. How do I judge him? Very sincere question. Swami said, again, another beautiful lesson for all of us. Learn to call on me. Learn to call on me when you are in doubt. That is the training which each of us have to develop. Learn to rely on God when we require. Because we belong to Him and He belongs to us. That is a training which we need to give to our mind, our intellect, our faculties, these five senses, so that when in doubt, we not only turn to Google, but also to God. Swami does not like long faces. Swami always wants boys to be smiling, all the people to be smiling. He says, happiness is union with God. At another time, Swami was mentioning that to know whether you are spiritually progressing or not, what are the yardstick, what are the metrics which one can use? Swami said, happiness. Your own innate happiness is an indicator, is a metric for assessing how far you have grown in the spiritual domain. So, Swami never likes long faces. And it's a story about the long face. In fact, we used to be out of form. Again, some of you must have heard through the previous speakers of the Samarpan talk, what it means like to be out of form with Swami. This is to give so much to us, and the moment, we slip, we would just go out of form. And then one such incident, I would mention it. Yeah, this is the one which is used in that Samarpan flyer. There's a story behind this. I was totally out of form when this was happening. Totally, means totally out of form. In our cricket, totally out of form and totally out of form. So, Swami was not talking to me. I finished my Ph.D. and then this was a Ph.D. degree Swami was conferring. And then I was totally out of form. Swami was not talking to me. So I was not even sure whether I'll get a degree, whether he will confer the degree to us, because we know, he says, Vajradapi katorani mruduni kusumanicha. He says about the Guru, Vajradapi katorani mruduni kusumanicha. It seems a Guru is harder than the hardest substance in the world. Hardest substance in the world is a diamond. You have a diamond cutter. Even you want to even bore a hole in the bore wells, they use the diamond, tips. So it's supposed to be the hardest material, known material to man is the diamond. I believe Guru is even harder than the hardest material. Vajradapi katorani. But then when he becomes soft, mruduni kusumanicha, he is softer than the petals of the flower. How very soft and tender are the petals of a flower. He is even softer than that when he requires to be. So I was facing the harder part of the God. So he was not talking, and then when he is not talking, we just simply do not exist. You may be right 1.1, right in the front, but you don't exist. He will talk this side, he will talk this side, he will talk this side, he will talk that side, but you just don't exist, and only he can do that. And then, not only that, you have to feel bad. He will ensure that you will feel bad also, that you are ignored, and you know that you are ignored. Even if you ignore that, that will be a problem, greater problem. So it is a very nice way in which he does that. So I was going through all that, and then I was not sure whether I'll get a degree or not, even though we have completed everything, all the awarding of the formal awarding of the degree by the university was declared. So we were not told, and then till the last, just 2 days before only, he said, okay, Swami will give you a degree. Very happy, at least he will give the thing. But then we also know, if he is not willing, when we take Namaskar, he will just turn off that side, and he will take off that, even the feet. We have gone through that phases also. So I was not sure, but I said I was very happy, at least I'm getting a degree, at least he'll at least give Namaskar, I thought. But then I was very, very tense. So my name was called in the convocation, and then I got up, went fully almost trembling inside, but not showing outside, cannot show outside. So went there, and I thought Swami will remove the legs. I will not have to touch only the footstool. And then I just bent down. Swami did not remove the legs. He was still keeping the legs. So I just gently touched, but he didn't. Very stone-faced he was. And then, so my hands were trembling. I was just catching that. He was giving us the certificate. So I was catching the other part of the certificate because I was not sure. He may say this thing, and then I was very far away. Seeing my predicament, Swami knew this is once in a lifetime. You don't get PhD degrees every time. So only once a lifetime only. So he saw me almost trembling and then tense. He just moved, nudged me, and then the hand which you see, I thought, I was really scared. I thought maybe inadvertently I had gone very near to Swami, and then I was trying to go. He said, then he, that hand which is there, Swami's hand, just touched me like that. And that's it. A big smile broke. My long face became, the smiling face which you see there. So Swami does not like, no, that is the mother's love. That is the love of the Lord for his children. So, very important for all of us to remember and cultivate being happy. Why should we be sad? He is there. Why fear when he is here? And then, at another thing about this long face, I just remember another incident. And then this was about another student from Kerala. He was also putting a very long face and sitting in darshan line. Swami asked, "Hey Mira, why are you putting long face?" Swami used to call it castor oil face. When you drink castor oil, I believe, you feel so nauseating, you just don't like it. Mothers earlier, in the olden days, they used to give that one for purification of the body. And then, so children won't like it also. Big, long, big face they'll repeat. Swami said, "Castor oil face, why are you like that?" And then Professor Anil Kumar was there nearby. He said, "Swami," he just said Swami, that's all, nothing more. Swami created 2 earrings, 2 sets of earrings, and gave to this boy. This boy immediately broke into a smile. Ear to ear grin was there in his house, on his face, and very happy. And then Professor Anil Kumar was mentioning, a thought passed in his mind. He said, "Swami, I have 3 daughters. 3 daughters. If you had given those earrings to me, at least I would have given to my daughters. What this fellow, just student, first year student, what will he do with the earrings? The 2 sets." Reading his mind, Swami said, "Neeku kadara, Anil Kumar, this is not for you." He said, "Swami, what will the boy do with the earrings?" Then he said, his mother passed away very recently then, and her wish was to give earrings to her daughters. This boy's sisters, 2 sisters were there. He said, "I, as a mother of this boy, should fulfill the desire of his mother. And that is why, not to give to your daughters. Anyway, you are there, give it." And then Swami beautifully chided him and then went by. Every thought which passes by Bhagawan is aware. Many speakers would have spoken to you about that one, because living with Swami is a true education, as it was mentioned, but then it's very, very difficult. And let me just recall one small incident which my colleague, Professor Nageshwara, had. Swami called us for an interview in the sense he was discussing something, so we were all there at his feet in the interview room. As our sir would know, n number of interviews during the convocation time and then during the sports meet time. So Swami uses these opportunities to draw the students and teachers near to him so that he can impart the divine wisdom. Popat sir will know, and then he has a number of experiences which you must have heard. So one such occasion where we were at his feet, and then Professor Nageshwara was sitting next to below Swami's feet, next to Swami's feet, and he had the chance to do path seva. So during his path seva, he was so blissful. He said, "Swami, I have such a divine experience of doing path seva to the Lord, which not everyone gets." So he was filled with bliss. And then the interview got over. And at the end of the interview, Swami gives Pada Namaskar, and then he says, "Get up." So everybody takes Pada Namaskar and gets up. So since he was very next to Swami, so he took the Pada Namaskar and got up. And then others are meanwhile taking the Pada Namaskar. So till everyone finishes a Pada Namaskar, so usually Swami will be inside, so everybody will be standing there. So Professor Nageshwara was there next to Swami. He is almost 3 inches taller than Swami. So he was in bliss. He had that beautiful feeling, and so I was doing path seva to Swami, to the Lord of the universe. And then when others were taking Pada Namaskar, again another thought crossed in his mind. He said, "Swami, who is shorter than me, is he the Lord of the universe? Is he the Lord of the universe?" See how monkey mind, Swami says, the one instant it is in the almost merging with Lord. Such a nice feeling. And the next moment, this sort of doubt which arises in our mind. Swami compares it, I remember that comparison Swami gives, it's like a fly. The fly which goes and sits on the altar, on the flower on the altar, the most important altar. It sits in one moment. The next moment, it goes and sits on the dung which is outside. It has no distinction. Mind is so wavering, Swami says. He says, you need to train that mind. So he got this sort of thought. He said, is he the Lord of the universe shorter than me? The moment this crossed his mind, Swami turned to the person who was taking the namaskar and he got up. He didn't tell Nageshwara sir directly. He said, Mahapurusha, do not assess the power of Mahapurushas by their physical appearance. Mahapurushalni వాళ్ళ ఆకారాన్ని బట్టి నిర్ణయించద్దండి. Out of the blue, no context, no question was asked, no answer was given. This was a message for Professor Nageshwar Rao. Just that he said he is shorter by 3 inches and then he is the universe of the thing. Yes, of course, he is the universe, the chancellor of the universe and beyond that. So every thought, Swami says, so it should be very, very important. Thoughts are very, 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 very important. And all the training, all the sadhana which we do, the satsang which we are having through the Samarpan or to the talks, or the bhajans which we do, the Suprabhatam, Nagar Sankirtan, the Seva which we do, the medical Seva and all other Narayan Seva which we do, all this is training. These are good, Swami says, good instruments for us to purify ourselves so that we become worthy of his love. So thoughts are most important. And let me recount one or two incidents about the thoughts, what Swami has mentioned. Previous in the soy thought. Swami's quotation, you must have known this very famous quotation. Soy a thought, reap an action. What we think, the action follows. So an action, reap a tendency. So a tendency, reap a habit. So a habit, reap character. And so a character, reap your destiny. Swami says, your destiny is in your hands. God has created you with a mind. After that, he has given that mind to you. He will not control unless you want him to control. So, about the thoughts, Swami gives you the thing, and then Swami very often tells about this mind control and mind training of the mind. So, on one such occasion, Swami spoke about the mind and mind, how it should be controlled, the vagaries of the mind, and so on. One boy was very inspired, and then he was very happy, and then Swami said, the joys, when you share them, they become doubled, I believe. The sorrows, when we share them, we become halved. That's the rule, and that's why whenever there is a celebration, whenever something very nice which happens, we spread that one by giving sweets to everyone. We want to share our joy to everyone, with everyone. And when there is sorrow, also same thing. Somebody passes away, all of them come. When they come and assure us, we become much more relieved. So Swami said, you whatever mistakes were there, you have to control them and then work on them. So this student, when Swami came near him, he got up very quietly. Swami, whether he wanted to say something. Swami said, don't, and said, what is it, Bangaru? So Swami, I have lot of bad thoughts. Very sweet, innocent, confession. I said, Swami, I have lot of bad thoughts. Swami said, control the bad thoughts. Very nice question. And see the mother's love. Swami said, what Swami said, almost gives us a license to have bad thoughts. He said, Bangaru, see, only in rainy season it rains, isn't it? Only in rainy season it rains. In summer it's sun shines. Very hot. So this is the age You will get bad thoughts. Don't worry. So sweetly, he said, only in rainy seasons it rains, so it is not uncommon. So to get bad thought is not uncommon. Swami given certificate. But then the second part follows. He said, even though you get a bad thought, Swami said, let not your body follow the thought. Don't implement that thought into action. So I thought, that action, as soon as you get a bad thought, do not implement that. And then Swami went on to explain how, a number of ways, you can actually control that one. First is, do not implement. Swami said, when you get angry, you would have heard again this one. Very often Swami used to say, get angry, it's a bad quality. You should not have it. There are ways of controlling the anger. First he said, remove yourself from the scene. Find out a way to first come out of the place so that first thing, your anger comes down. Or, Swami says, keep chanting Nam Jap. Or, he says, go and see your face in the mirror. How contorted, how distorted will be your face when you get angry. He said, actually it does more harm to the person who is getting angry than the fellow whom you are cursing. And then Swami also gives another way. He says, if you get a bad smell, what you do? First find out where the root cause for the bad smell and then remove that dirt. That's one way of doing. He says, you are not able to find where the dirt is. And then some guest is coming to the house. What do you have to do? Room freshener. Tuck, 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 tuck. So, you burn the incense stick or a room freshener to overpower the bad smell. So he says, if you get a bad thoughts, use a room freshener of good thoughts. Your time with Swami, your good times, so that this bad thought will be overpowered. What beautiful lessons, what simple lessons which Swami gives to all of us to control these thoughts. I was also called Narada. I used to be called Narada and then Atta. Atta is the mother-in-law, as I mentioned to you. And Narada also is the one who is supposed to sort of Kalha Bhoja, they call it. He would love to create mischief and then bring actually enmity between the function, of course, for the greater good of the world, as we all know. So Swami used to call that, because as a warden, I am supposed to support students also. If they play Swami, please come to the hostel. Even I have to support Swami, please come to the hostel, because it is a common this thing. But Swami says, Buddhi ledu, and it's you are not supposed to. I have to immediately turn my plates and then support Swami, what Swami is saying. So both ways you have to sort of keep trying it out. Swami, whenever I used to support the students, Swami, the boys are not, please talk to them, Swami, please pardon them. Said, Buddhi ledu, you don't have brains, you don't have buddhi. He says, you don't have to recommend their case to me. You don't have to recommend their case to me. I know them through and through. You will see only external appearance. I am the indweller. I will see what their thoughts are, what their actions are, because I am eternal witness. Okay, so many such incidents used to go on just to, Swami used to teach the biggest of the truths in such a simplest of the manners. Now, all this I said when Swami was physically there. Now, in fact, some of the students came and asked me in the hostel itself. Said, Sir, you all have enjoyed Swami. You all have experienced Swami. So, you have that love for Swami. We did not enjoy. We did not go through those experiences which you all had it. How do you expect us to have that love for Swami? Very simple, very straightforward question. And then I had to pray to Swami then. We never realized the value of the chances which he had conferred on all of us. Then the few thoughts which occurred to me, I'll just mention that one. He said, when we read the Bhagavatam, the love that Krishna had for the Gopas and Gopis, Radha and then all that, Mother Yashoda, Nanda, all that, we have not experienced it. We were not there to possibly, at least we don't remember that we were there. But we still enjoy them now. We derive inspiration from them. Similarly, the Lord Rama, the kinship which Hanuman enjoyed with Rama, the Vanaras enjoyed with them, we weren't there. But still, Hanuman is a great inspiration for all of us. His devotion to Lord Rama is an inspiration for all of us. So, it is, even though we are physically we have not experienced it, even just listening to them, just like the Shuka has heard Bhagavatam in his last days and got moksham. Swami said, even just listening, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, all the Navaveda Bhaktis, Shravanam is the first one, the very first step which will lead us to God. So I told them, this is what I feel, that we may not have experienced it, but then if you have the sincere yearning, automatically Swami will come and give you the experience which you require and which you deserve. Let me recall just one or two instances on that, because now we are all, as brothers put it, we all miss him. We all miss his physical form. Especially for people who have enjoyed that, it is even more, hurting. But then he has come for everyone. The same experience which everyone has enjoyed, you will also enjoy. Let me recount just what happened just 1 week back, or maybe, 1 week, little more than 1 week. There was a Sai Youth Conference. International Seva Organization has conducted a Zone 4 A and B, consisting of 15 countries, have conducted a conference for the youth of these Zone 4 countries, consisting of 15 countries. The youth, more than 350 youth, boys and girls, came from these countries, and they had a conference in Puttaparthi just before Buddha Purnima, from 14th of May to 17th of May. And this incident happened during that time. And then one of the organizers themselves, the youth who is involved, has mentioned this so authentic. So this, one of the participants, a lady from Indonesia, Jakarta, she is a devotee, but coming the first time. She came along with her daughter. They were staying in North Building, round building, round 2, R2. And then they were attending this thing, and then that conference was extremely good. And some other time, what they are doing, the International Seva Organization, just like what you're seeing here in Dharmakshetra, I'm so very overwhelmed. The type of activities which are being undertaken by all the Samiti members here, all of you devotees, really, really inspiring, and then worth emulating by others. So she attended the conference first 2 days. The third day, there were important meetings. When she got up in the morning, she had a severe back pain. Back was completely frozen. And then she just couldn't get up from the bed. Her daughter had to go because she had something to perform in the cycle in the hall. So she said, "Mama, I cannot help you." She wanted her to go and get doctor so that she can also come for the darshan. But she said there was no time. And by the time she went here and there, but then she couldn't find doctor. They had to go to general hospital and all that. The mother said, "No, don't worry about me. You go to Cyclone Hall for darshan." And then she did not know how to wear even sari. She was describing that she had to help with all the pain. She somehow dragged herself and giving the instruction. And then she wore the sari and went. And this lady was very, very sick, and then she was crestfallen. She said, "I'm in Puttaparthi, I'm not able to have Swami's darshan." And then she was praying intensely. The door was closed. She said Swami physically appeared in round block 2 in the Prashanti Nilayam in her room. She was stunned. Swami said, don't worry. You don't have to come to Sai Kulant Hall. Have my darshan here. Take Pad Namaskar. And then she bent. She said, I don't know where the pain had gone. She bent and took Pad Namaskar very, very nicely, very, very slowly, and then touched Swami's feet so lovingly. And then got up. Swami said, blessed her, and disappeared. She felt so much of peace, went onto her bed, and then slept. When she got up, Swami was not there, and her pain was also not there. She said, completely cured. And then she was so excited. Yes, Swami appeared to me. And one of the youth members asked, Amma, are you clear? Is it not hallucination? You are not dreaming, no? Said, no. I still can tell you where he stood. And then I can even now feel how I touched his feet, how he blessed. So if there is a real yearning, time is no bar, he is Kalatita. Space is no bar, he is above time and space. So it's just that real yearning should be there from our side, whether it is post-Mahasamadhi, pre-Mahasamadhi, where he was there, he is there, he will eternally be there. It's only a question of our connection. Yet another incident, and then I will wind up. The other incident is that about darshan. This is about, again, my colleague, Dr. Sailesh Srivastava, is also professor of physics. So one day we had a meeting, and then meeting got extended. So bhajans he could not attend. So he went, and then after the meeting was over, and then he went. It was 5:45, had bhajans. So he said, okay, I can't go for bhajans. Let me do bhajans in my room. In his altar, he did the bhajans. After that, I said, okay, fine. Whenever I'm not able to go, I can do bhajans here. I feel quite happy. And then the matter ended there. Night he gets a call from one of his students who had passed away and who was somewhere else. He said, sir, I wanted to talk to you. He said, what? He said, sir, yesterday, the previous day, Swami came to my dream and you were there, sir. Oh, very nice. What did Swami say? He said, tell Sailesh that I am there in Sai Kulwant Hall. When you do bhajans, I hear in Sai Kulwant Hall. How did the previous day, even anticipating, this, that event would have occurred? Is it not his omniscience, omnipresence, and omnipotence? When we believe that he is there, he is there. When we are in doubt, well, we have to again seek after him. He will give us that faith which is required for us. So these are the miracles which every day, in every devotee, I am sure, will have something or other to tell, because it is Sai Bhagavatam. As it is put, it is Sai Bhagavatam. It is eternal, and it goes on and on and on. Now, let me end with the last experience which I had, which I feel that is very relevant, because it's a Golden Jubilee of the Golden Jubilee edition of the Samarpan. It happened for a student, the first batch of student, one boy named Vijay Sai. He's a businessman now in Chennai. As I was I was told that I had to come this one. I was praying at Swami, please give me something nice so that even I feel happy to share your love with the devotees of Mumbai. I was thinking that, and then in the holidays we didn't have mess, so we went to the canteen there. I was having tea, and then I saw this boy. He saw me, he said, sir, and then he also took a cup of coffee and then came and sat next to me. And he revealed such a beautiful experience. I was just praying, Swami. I said, Swami, give me something very nice one, which, it's sometimes, we think we get bored by listening to something which we have already known, though we would not have assimilated the message of that, but still, the human mind is that. So I wanted to tell something which I myself did not know. So I was praying, and this boy came and said, tell me some nice experience which you had. He said, sir, if I tell you that one, my hair rises. I said, exactly, that's what I wanted. He said, it happened during the 60th birthday time. 60th, Shashtipurti time probably. Swami's 60th birthday time. That time, students were given opportunity to light the Prashanti Mandir. Series light, not the LED ropes which we have nowadays. So easy, just buy and then just hang them. There, each bulb, it's in series light. So if one bulb doesn't work, and then the whole set doesn't work. So you have to find out which bulb has not worked. It's a laborious process. So our students were given the good chance of doing that in Swami's Mandir. In almost, every day Swami would come and interact with them. So boys used to get into that group, maintenance group, to, decorate Swami's Mandir, Prashanti Mandir. So this boy, and then they were doing, and Swami would come in the afternoon, spend time with them, feed them with all sorts of things. So boys were very, very happy. They would love to go and then do this work. And then on that day of 60th birthday, every day they would add some extra things to the lights. More to be, there used to be, the veranda, probably the previous slide on that. The first two, I think, this thing. Okay, this sort of thing. That on the top, where the boys are sitting, and then on the top, they used to be there, and then they used to sort of hang those series bulbs down. And then Swami would be in the interview room. Above the interview room, he used to be there. And then Swami would call them in the afternoon, feed them, talk to them, individual attention, all that. So this boy was very happy. The previous day, Swami gave them so much of love. They were in 9th cloud. And then that day of 60th birthday, November 23rd, the previous day they had worked till almost 3:30, 4 o'clock. So all boys went to hostel to get ready and then sleep, catch some sleep. This boy came off by 5:30 because they could go straight because they were, that elite group. So he went off. He thought, Swami will come early, so he will get an extra chance. So he was there by 5:30, and 6 o'clock promptly the door opened. Swami's interview room there, and then on the top. So that opened, and then he could see what was happening. Karunyanand Swamiji came first. He took Swami's Namaskar. 60th birthday, such a great occasion. And then he took Namaskar. Then other elders of the ashram came. They took Namaskar. Swami told them the instructions and all that. He could see all that watching from here. And then he was very, very happy. And then he kept on seeing Swami there. Swami saw him, called him. He came, he gave Chudra. He showed them through the interview, that door, that window there. He said, so many devotees are waiting outside just to see the hair. When they see, devotees sitting here, they see the hair there. The old devotees know, oh, Swami is there, and all, they used to be so happy. He said, just to see my hair, they'll be very happy. Here I am, calling you, giving you namaskar on 60th birthday. That sweet Lord tells the importance of that birthday, tells the importance of the occasion, and reminds him what great opportunities. So this boy was overwhelmed and very happy. He said, Swami, and then touched his feet, took namaskar. He said, Swami, then very, very innocently and very spontaneously said, Swami, what can I offer to you on this day? Very sweetly, that innocence is what Swami likes. He said, what can I offer to you, Swami? Please take something. Swami said, tell me, Uddhar Bangaru, be good. That's all. No, Swami, is small thing. Actually, they prepared a nice, good card with, all the LED bulbs and, with all those bulbs. And then that they wanted, actually, he was preparing a ground for that. When other boys come, then they would present it to Swami. Swami, please, Swami, take Swami and all that. Then, when this boy was insisting, something beautiful has happened. At the end of the video which you presented it, Swami's hand gets stretched like this, and the student hand or the devotee's hand goes like that. When you ask it, don't do this one, give me promise, we put our hand, isn't it? So like that, Swami stretched his hand. He said, will you give what I wanted? And this boy was very, overjoyed. And Swami asking, stretching his hand. Otherwise his hand will be like this. But then this time he said, will you give me promise what you will do? He said, yes, Swami. Like this. So nice. Swami said, you should keep up your promise. He said, yes, Swami. And what is the promise which Swami extracted from him? He said, the love which you have received from me, share it with others. That is the love. That is the promise which Swami extracted from the student. And that is what the Samarpan team is doing. That the love which each of us have, just as the other sir was mentioning, just even a drop of that love, if we assimilate it, the entire content becomes sweet. Just one drop, one boom. So, this is the glory of the Lord. It is not the glory of the person who has gone through it, me or anybody for that matter. It is, the experiences are divine because they are associated with the Lord. It is in spite of us, not because of us. It is in spite of us, in spite of all the follies. He was kind enough to bless us with that experiences. And these are for all of us. Universe is his university and all of us are his students. So I pray to Bhagawan to bless all of us so that we may tune ourselves, mind, and think of him when you need him. If you need me, you deserve me, Swami says. So we deserve him all the time because all the time we need him. So it's just that we have to tune ourselves to his message and implement and then seek his guidance so that he'll bless us and we become in the Sai path. Thank you very much. I again congratulate all the team members of the Samarpan and also the related members which beautifully they have acknowledged the 50 months of sadhana which is being done will not go waste. It has produced so much of joy which we heard from all the speakers who spoke about it. May Swami continue to bless us all to listen more and more of his glories. SAIRAM.
SAIRAM. I guess a lot of our questions would have got answered through today's session because it had all kinds of important messages. Typically like how to be smiling all the time, not to have castrol faces. And also in terms of how to overcome bad thoughts. These are very important, simple teachings, but these thoughts take us to him. I think the most profound one was the last one, which probably, because when we said how many of us have seen God or Swami, practically everybody raised the hand today. And 15 years, 20 years later, probably hardly anybody would be, or maybe very few. And given this message, what Sir has told us, which Swami has actually shared with that student, that let us share that love that we have experienced. It's all our responsibility, not just student, but everybody, all of us who has seen God, to share that love with everybody, whomever we meet. One way of sharing, obviously, is again, Swami used to mention is, be good and demonstrate your goodness. Through you, people will be happy, people will learn, and people will say, yes, this is how a person should be. We have, as students, we have learned from Sir himself of how good he is and what goodness is. And we will do our best to ensure that we pass on this and implement in our lives. So on this great occasion, we are very grateful to you, Sir, for coming all the way from Prashant Nilayam and sharing these wonderful messages with all of us. May I request Ajit Popat sir to please come forward to share our token of love and gratitude with Sir.
Om Sri SAIRAM. We have been hearing about Swami's love and Warden Sir's love for his own students. I will take only a few minutes to relate my own experience. One day I was sitting in the veranda and bhajans were over, and Warden Sir came to me and said that, Puppet Sir, I want you to do me a small favor. So I say, what's that? So he said, Swami, I don't know for what reason, but we are unable to find out in emphasis where the significance is. Swami has not been talking to the students for a very long time, and all the students are very upset, they are very sad, they are very morose, and they are crying all the time, and some of them are doing parayan, some of them are fasting, some of them are not sleeping even at night. And if you get a chance to speak to Swami, please pray to him. So, look at his love. Mind you, Swami probably was talking to him, but he was not talking to the students, and he was very concerned about it. So I said, I will also pray to his Swami. The very next day, I was supposed to be going back to London. And Swami came early in the morning and he called me up and he said, Puppet, what's the program? So I said, Baba, immediately after the Aarti, I will be going. So he said, go inside. So I was alone with Swami, and Swami was looking at me very lovingly, and he was inquiring about what time is the flight, what time is the reporting, what time you are going to reach, and blah, blah, blah. So when there was a little pause, I always used to take a lot of liberty with Swami, which everybody knows about it. And I held his hand and I said, Baba, I want to talk to you. So he said, tell me. I said, Baba, what's your problem? So he said, hey, what are you talking about? What problem? Huh? I don't have any problem. I said, Baba, it seems that there seems to be a problem. You are not talking with the students. You are not talking with the boys. Swami suddenly changed his complete facial expression and he became very angry. I mean, he pretended. He is a very good actor. Amitabh Bachchan is nothing, you see. So he changed his facial expression and he became very wild with me and he said, hey, it's none of your concern, is it? It is between me and my student. Why the hell you are interfering in that? So I said, Baba, am I not part of the family? He said, yes, you are part of the family. I said, then this is the family matter which I am discussing. You are the father, your children are not happy, they are sulking, they are not eating properly, they are doing parayan, you are not responding. He said, Puppet, what time is your flight? He changed the subject. He gave me Vibhuti Prasadam, then he gave me Pad Namaskar, gave me a few instructions about my next visit, and then it was time for me to come back. Bhajan started immediately after the Aarti. Swami left. I met Warden Sir. He was in the veranda. He probably must have seen me going inside, but he didn't know what the hell was happening inside, you see. So when I came out, I went and I ventured to him and told him, I said, Sir, I have already spoken to him. Brothers and sisters, this is the $1 million statement which I am going to make. Look at the love of Warden, who was nothing but the extension of Swami's love. If Swami is the Divine Mother, Warden Sir was actually treating all the students like Mother herself. I don't know from where did he find out, but he rang me up next day. I was in my office. I don't know how did he manage to find my telephone number in London. And he called me up and he said, Puppet Sir. So I said, who is speaking? He said, Shiv Shankar. I said, I hope everything is okay. He said, the reason why I'm calling you is to tell you that yesterday Swami did speak to all of us. This is his love and concern. This is the way he shares his love. Can you imagine my joy that despite the fact that I took the liberty of interfering in Swami's affairs with his own student, I had the audacity to tell Swami that what's your problem? It happened in Kodaikanal. Yet another very small example, and I will wind it up because otherwise I can stand here till tomorrow morning, you see. we were together, and that year it so happened that Warden sir was also part of the entourage with Swami in Kodaikanal. And we were there, I think I was there, if I remember correctly, with my home minister for about 13 days. And in 13 days, there were about 18 puppet shows. And I had some work to attend because Swami had given me some responsibility about going to United States of America and attending the retreats. And according to his instruction, I was to leave a little early rather than coming back with the boys in the same flight. Mind you, we had gone with this flight with Swami, but my departure was planned by Swami in such a way that I was to leave early, 2 days before he left. So in the morning, Swami came, and then I bowed down to him. He gave me the prasadam and gave the instruction, and then he went down to see my home minister also and blessed her. And we left. And we were sad because we were leaving the company of the divine and going back to the worldly life again. But I had a little inner joy also that I was going according to his instructions. And again, Warden sir of all the people called me up after 2 days. And he said, Papa sir, I want to talk to you. I said, where are you calling from? He said, no, we have just come back. And he said, I want to tell you something. You left that day as per Swami's divine instruction, but in the afternoon when Swami came, he looked at everybody and he said, Papat is not here. Papat has gone back. Papat is always thinking about me in flight. Now, this was the statement which was made by Swami within the inner circle in his lounge in Kodaikanal, where I was physically not present. But Warden sir, look at his inner feeling that if he conveys this message to me in London, it will give me so much of immense joy that my mother has remembered me and he still keeps loving me like I am still there. And this is how I have reacted with Warden sir. Mind you, I met him first time in early 90s, I suppose. It was 1991. And since then we are in touch with each other. Many times we have worked together on Gram Seva and other projects. And I can tell you one thing very frankly, here is a man who is absolutely humble. I will also tell you one secret about him, that he has not even aged. Yeah. He is still the same. His spirit, his love, his intensity, his dedication and determination and devotion to the Lord and his divine lotus feet. And he is an ideal example. And many times I have shared many things with him, and I thought that I never knew that I should be coming over here today. I have come here under very difficult circumstances myself today. But I made it a point, and my home minister is very kind, and she said that no, we will definitely go. And I am very honored that Baba gave me the privilege to present his love and the memento to him, which will remind of his wonderful visit to Prashanti Nilayam and also to Dharmakshetra. Let me do one last statement, that he didn't come all the way from Prashanti. No. Because since he is the extension, the power is here also. If he is the warden in Prashanti Nilayam and professor and also the head of the department and now the director, his association with his old students is still the same. And his love is unforgivable, unforgettable, and always very divine and inspiring. With these few words, I pay the last tribute to Warden Sir, Director Sir, and Swami's divine instrument, that may he live long, healthy, happy and divine life and work for the lotus feet of the divine Lord by sharing his love. Jai SAIRAM.